Hey, and welcome to Witchcrafty. A while ago I promised to do some Bugsnax plushies. There are quite a lot of things that I wanted to make from this game, however I thought it'd make sense to start with the considered mascot of this game, which is Strabby. Here's a list of everything you need. The wiring is optional if you don't want the leaves to be posable. Pause here if you need to. The pattern is linked in the description and is for free for my DeviantArt and my Pinterest. All of my patterns are scaled to an A4 piece of paper for reference. The first thing you need to do is take some yellow embroidery floss and sew in small lines that go upwards to replicate seeds. I used a 3-strand thread to sew these in with ease. Make sure that when you're pulling to the next seed that you're keeping the fabric as flat as possible and your lines as straight as they can be to make the illusion of seeds more authentic. You can skip this step if you prefer to. Repeat for the next piece. Another thing you can do is keep referencing the tracing side to keep from going over the seam allowance. I'd recommend going near the seam allowance first around the shape so you know where you can go in between. And lastly, do the same with the final berry side. Now that all of the pieces are embroidered, sew up the dart at the top and bottom of the body pieces. Place 2 body pieces together, tracing side showing, and sew them together starting from the top dart and ending at the bottom. Align the final body piece to the 2 pieces you just joined and begin sewing them together. When you've almost reached the end, flip it upright and stuff it. Use an invisible stitch to close off the open end. For the eyes, take the pupil piece and draw in where you roughly want the eye to be. Then, sew the pupil onto the finished side of each eyepiece. Take an eyepiece with a pupil and an eye without and place some tracing showing and begin joining them. When you've almost reached the end, flip it upright and close off the open edge with an invisible stitch. Repeat the same with the last 2 eyepieces. Pin these onto one side of the berry and use an invisible stitch to join this on also. For the leaves, place both pieces together, then begin joining them. Instead of doing what I did and pointing it at each corner, instead sew straight across each point in a straight U shape to give the fabric breathing room. Then continue along the line. This prevents the fabric folding up at the corners later on. Leave a fairly large gap, then flip the leaves upright. Now for the wiring part. Wiring plushies is fairly simple, just fold the wire into the shape of the piece you want it to fit in and fold it into the hole. Use pliers if you have them. When it's in the gap you left, push each piece of the wire until it's fully extended out onto each leaf. After that, use an invisible stitch to close off the remaining edge. Before we join this on, take 2 circle stem pieces, tracing showing, and begin sewing them together. When done, flip it upright and close off the gap using the same method as we did before. Use an invisible stitch to sew this to the centre of the leaves. Take the last stem piece and fold it over so the tracing faces up. Sew it along the side straight edge and top curve, leaving the shortest edge open, then flip it upright. Use an invisible stitch to sew this onto the centre of the circle we just joined in the middle. And lastly, pin the leaves to the berry on the side without the stem and use an invisible stitch to join it on. Then just fold your leaves out how you want your Strabby to sit. And that is how you make a Strabby plushie. Make sure you like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and comment down below on ideas like to see me make next. And while you're at it, why don't you go check out my other videos? I upload new videos every single week. Thanks for watching, bye!